So, okay, so there's a question I would have. It's so just living in the day, living my life. It's like sometimes I start looking for the distressful thoughts and looking, and that causes more stress.
Mm.
And so I'm figuring out, I mean, I'm seeing that this could be done 24/7. Like if one were in a state of meditation, but then it's natural. It's just a natural process. But I'm a lot of effort in, okay, what is this? And well, that disturbed me there. So what is that? And using too much effort. And so just figuring out how to pull back that effort, or do you just wait for it, that natural thing that says, oh, this is a stressful thought.
Yeah, it's a really good one. A lot of times people in the beginning of doing the work, or any time actually, can get overwhelmed by the number of stressful thoughts that there are. Like it's infinite, really. It's literally infinite. And I could work 24/7 for the rest of my life and still not, work all the thoughts that I could work, connected to my stressful experiences or whatever. But, I think you bring up a really good point of just how to do that in an easy way. Like not to be overly digging up more than I can chew, biting off more than I can chew, kind of. Not over analyzing and getting into, just making problems where there aren't problems or where they're minor, or just like bringing it all up. The way I think of it is the work is like this little machine that can digest anything. So I can put any kind of situation, big, traumatic, stressful situation, small, little situation, any kind of stressful situation. I can bring it into this machine, if you want to call it that, and go through this process if I do it in a meditative way, and it digests it. It just chews it up and it's like, whoa, okay, that's not stressful anymore. Or it takes the stress, makes the stress level less. It affects that. So the only thing is, if I load up the machine with too much at once, then it can only do so much, right? So it kind of creates a backlog, and that can be stressful. I think that's what you're describing there is that, okay, now I've got this machine running, but I'm like stuffing it with so much work or trying to bring so much in that it's either piling up outside in front of the machine or it's getting clogged up inside the machine or something. Like um, it's not really working at its maximum. So I like to pace myself with the work. I really do believe that it's infinite, and um, I kind of I did some work on that. I'm really not even worried about that anymore. I don't have to question every stressful thought that I ever have. Like there's just going to be, I'm kind of like easier with having some stressful thoughts that don't get worked. And then the way I pace myself is I decide how much I want to do the work. And for me, it's like once a day. It's kind of like my routine. I just, it's part of my practice. And so I just take the next one up and work on that day. But during the rest of the day, 50,000 other thoughts come along and I just wave at them and let them go. It's sort of like the snowstorm is blowing, outside and I'm just inside with my one, I just worked one thought today and that's good. It's enough for me. So that kind of feeling gives me a sense of space that I'm just doing as much work as I want to do and not worrying about the rest. Sometimes I'll go on a retreat, like we have these virtual retreats, and I'll spend the whole weekend doing the work, and I'll be, feeding the fire a lot more. I'm going to be doing a lot more, but that's my choice. And even there's millions that I don't get to. So in the end, I like to think of it as kind of I'm in control of how much work I do. I'm not the I'm not at the whim and the mercy of whatever stressful thoughts come my way because it's a storm. It's a big storm, and if I try to do them all, I'm going to be overwhelmed, and I'll end up kind of burning out and not really enjoying the work. It's sort of it's not as effective. So one at a time. I've heard Byron Katie say this as well. Like just one at a time. Just there's only one stressful thought, the one that I'm have right here in front of me right now. So let me just work that one if that's what I choose to work. And if I choose not to, let me just allow that. I can still live the way I've always lived without questioning the work, questioning my stressful thoughts at times as well. And finally, what you brought up is with time, this becomes like a muscle, it becomes a strong, strong thing. And I find I'm doing the formal practice with the work once a day, but my mind is digesting experiences and turning them into non-stressful experiences all the time, like in real time. It's just happening, 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 happening. So the combination of that is somewhere in there is where I find the peace point, that I can do the work at my own pace formally, and it's my life, my thinking, my practice is alive and does take care of a lot of things, just as they show up. But the thing that makes it stressful is if I just you know try to make a big to-do list out of my stressful thoughts.